Yes everyone, what's good? My name is Maxter. Today I'm going to be showing you the exact networking DM technique that I've used to get responses from artists such as Nafe Smallz, Blade Brown, Day One, Trapstar Toxic, Schema, RV and many more. From these responses I've had the opportunity to directly send beats to these artists' private beat email, and sometimes they even give me their number. My technique to getting responses from these artists is something I see rarely talked about and never emphasized enough by producers and producer content creators. And this technique doesn't just work for artists, it works for producers, A&Rs, DJs, engineers, artist managers, and honestly anyone you're trying to network with. In this video, I'll be showing you my exact DMs with proof from Blade Brown in order for you guys to see exactly how I DM these artists and get a response. But before we get into that, I need to tell you the 3 steps to set up your account in order to have the most chance of these rappers and artists replying. Without doing these 3 steps, it's much more likely that you won't get a response even if you use my method. So let's get into Max's DM strategy. I'm gonna start with step 0, which is before the DM. This step makes sure that you don't get left on scene and I take it seriously as a producer. Step 0 is basically to have your Instagram branded correctly. I'm gonna run through the basics of producer Instagram branding super quickly, but I definitely recommend this video by International if you're looking to learn more about branding. Let's for example look at Big Dick 123 Beats. Everyone knows a Big Dick 123, mate. It's got screen recorded beat snippet, cartoon profile picture that looks like it's from 2015, a dodgy username, and essentially just nothing that stands out. Make sure you have a professional producer name. You need to keep it short, simple, professional. Try not to have too many numbers or XD or any crazy characters. Just keep it short and sweet. Also, profile picture is up to personal preference, but I would avoid using a logo or something that doesn't really show that you're an actual account and not a bot. In my opinion, having your face or half your face or just something to do with you and your brand as your profile picture is much more effective. People underestimate the importance of your profile picture, but realistically this is one of the main visual elements people see when they get a DM. Here are some examples of good profile pictures. Here, 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 and here. All of these producers have good profile pictures that I think work, and you could basically just steal one of them. I want to jump back in quickly with one more Instagram branding tip, and it takes a leaf out of the book of the late Virgil Abloh. Virgil's famous for his 3% rule, rest in peace Virgil, but essentially his idea is if you change something by just 3%, it could be considered innovative and unique. He's saying you should create a point of difference between yourself, your business, and others. As a producer, this is important to do as well. For me, that's been creating daily Instagram reels. It's nothing groundbreaking, a lot of people do it, but I haven't seen anyone do it in the style that I have been, which is more vloggy, talking head style videos, documenting the daily ups and downs of being an aspiring music producer. But I would recommend just trying to think of ways to be a bit different, stand out from the crowd. That could be what you're uploading content wise, the genre of music you make, your stories, it could be anything. Just try and innovate by 3% at least. Now with that thought in mind, let's jump into the next section of the video. Step number 1 is choosing who to DM. This is the most important part. You don't always have to go directly to the artist. I mean, you can do that and it does work, it has worked for me as I'm about to show, but ideally you would go to someone under the artist first. Let's say for example you want to send beats for Drake. Everyone wants to send beats for Drake, everyone wants that money. So you go ahead, you send Drake a DM. Realistically, he's not going to see it. So a key aspect of my DM strategy is to look down the chain. If you have an artist that you really want a placement with and you really want to connect with, take the time, scroll through their following and see who is in their team or who's their friends or who they're connected with, basically who's around them. Let's continue with the Drake example. So if you scroll through the following, one of the first people you'll probably find that's close to Drake is a man named OVO40, and he would be great to try and network with and send loops to. Drake has 146 million followers, Noah Shabib or OVO40, 700k. This already greatly increases your chances, however he's the low hanging fruit, man. Everyone's messaging him, every producer's found him, everyone's trying to send loops to him. Realistically, he's probably not going to reply unless you have a lot of motion, which if you're watching this video, you might have some motion, but OVO40's not replying to you, mate, I'm sorry. Taking another step back in the chain, if you look through Drake or OVO40's following, you'll find this man OB. And he has much less followers, but he probably still would not reply, especially if you have no motion. So let's take one step back further and we find a man by the name of Harley Arsenal. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. He produced 2 songs for Drake, one on his album For All the Dogs, and then the On the Radar freestyle with Central C and Drake. Now Harley Arsenal has around 25,000 followers. When we compare that with Drake's 146 mil or Noah Shabib's 700k, 20k is a lot less. The chances he will reply is much more likely, and using my DM strategy, I do believe I could get a response from Harley Arsenal if I wanted to. Now, I know we've taken quite a few steps back in the chain. If you get his email, send him loops consistently, there's no telling what happens. You might get a Drake placement, you might not. But you repeat this process and get as many connections as possible in relation to the artist you really want a placement with. Now, hopefully this outlines how important choosing who you DM is. Obviously, shoot your shot with all of them if you want, but make sure you're going back down the chain and starting from the bottom if you really want a placement with this artist. Okay, now this is the real source. This is what you all be waiting for. This is step 2, and that is the art of the DM. Do not send text messages. Do not be typing away like a little dickhead. Send a message. Oh, can I send loops? Oh, can I send beats? Shut up, bruv. This is the source that you've all been waiting for. A lot of people are gonna go, oh, I already knew this. This is dumb, man. Wasting my time. Send voice notes. I've got responses from Blade Brown, Nafe Smallz, RV. These are all UK artists, but they're big artists, man. They have a lot of followers. As you can see, voice messaging works, bruv. It simply just works. And you need to do it more. Put yourself out there. But why does it work? It's important to know the background reason as to why this simple tactic works. So, when networking, I'm often sending DMs to people that don't follow me, so I end up in their message requests, where they can kind of see a little snippet of what it is you're saying. Even in normal DMs, you can see a snippet of what people are saying, as you can see here. For me, voice notes get opened 9 out of 10 times, and here's why. Curiosity. All humans are curious. If you got a 30-second voice note from another random producer in your message request, do not tell me you wouldn't open it, because you would. They could simply be asking to send loops. They could be saying your grand died. They could be saying they used your loop and you got a placement with them. At the end of the day, you don't know what it is. Could be great, could be bad, but obviously, most of the time, our curiosity gets the best of us. Whereas if you send a message saying, let me send loops, or let me do this, or ask you for a favor, they're gonna see it and they're gonna go, oh, I can't be bothered. Why should I respond to this guy? You're not giving them a reason to respond, especially if they don't know you. Once a voice message is opened, 9 times out of 10, you also get a reply, because this person has now heard your voice, they've heard your personality through the voice note a lot more than the text, and a lot of people feel an obligation to respond. So, what exactly do I say in these voice messages to get the responses? Now, I don't have a template. Every voice message I send is different. It's personalized. That's another reason why it's so effective. But this is what I sent to Blade Brown to get me a response.
Yo Blade, my name's Max, I'm a producer from New Zealand. Check the above preview I sent, it's got that expensive paint shit for your new album. Hit me up if you're liking it, send me your number or your email, I've got more shit ready to send, bro. Love.
Obviously, you can go ahead and just copy that, but here's a few tips that I recommend. And I recommend you personalize your voice notes. I don't reckon you use the same words for everyone. I reckon you keep it between 15 to 30 seconds. Start off with perhaps introduce yourself very briefly, or give them a compliment, or just open the conversation in some way. Either reply to their story, comment on something they just did, tell them something they did was fire. Just try and build a little bit of rapport in the first sort of 5-10 seconds. Then say, yo bro, I got some loops for you, or I got this, or I got that, and provide them value. This is the key. Provide them the value so that they now want to reply to you and they want to work with you. Chances are, once they've heard the voice note, even if they don't instantly reply, they'll probably at least check out your account, see what's happening. If you've got a good bio, good brand, everything sorted, as we've gone over in the previous steps, the chances they reply are super high, especially if you're providing value and being polite. This is where we now move into step 3, after the DM. Now, it's all well and good to get a bunch of emails and a bunch of numbers and to be spammy and to just get the DM response. However, once you get the response, you need to actually want to build the relationship with this person. That doesn't mean spamming them every day, asking if they've opened your loop email. What that means is tapping in maybe every week or so. I'll send a message just like, hey bro, tapping in with you again, here's some new loops, let me know what you think. Appreciate you for opening my DM earlier, or whatever it is. Just come up with something brief, maybe every week or every 2 weeks. Not super often. Don't be spammy, don't be annoying. You gotta use your social intuition and just try and figure out what vibe they're on. Okay boys, so that wraps up section 3, and as you can tell, it's another day now. I completely forgot to outro this video, but there is one thing I want to quickly add in here. Use this method to just network authentically and to get responses from people. I highly suggest you avoid using this method to just chase placements, because in my own experience, it's just going to get you demotivated and ending up taking a break from producing or just feeling discouraged. The way I use this method is simply to network with other producers and network with people that I actually want to work with, I actually enjoy working with, and just doing it for the love of the music, man. I wouldn't recommend you use this method to chase placements for a ton of reasons, which I'm going to cover in other videos. But yeah, I just wanted to add that in quickly. I hope you lot got some value from this video. I'm going to be really ramping up the videos, I think maybe 1 or 2 a week, but I appreciate everyone tapping into this first video. Please do go down and subscribe, as it helps a lot. And if you stuck to this point, send me a DM. I'd just really like to chop it up, because if you watch this long, you obviously fuck with me and my brand, so I appreciate you lot. That's it for now. I'm gonna catch you lot in the next one in a bit, man. Appreciate it.